Hello again and welcome once again to On the Couch with myself and this amazing woman, Michelle Whitehead. Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm so excited to learn a bit about you and learn a bit about what you're doing and everything. Thanks also for letting me stay in your absolutely gorgeous place. Mountain Manor Guest House. It's just incredible. I've loved both my nights here. I was a bit worried because I've heard that this whole establishment is from 1850.
That's right. The three houses go back to 1850.
Wow.
And
so I didn't come across any ghosts. I was waiting every now and again.
Some people do see some. We do have special visitors, yeah. I've had a function once and this lady came to me and said, you know, you've got people staying here. I said, yes, it's a guest house, we do. She said, no. She's met two old ladies down the passage and had a conversation with them and all's good. They're very happy.
Gosh.
So I said, well, thanks very much.
Stunning.
Yes.
Oh, that is so divine.
Yeah.
And tell me a bit, how did you get into the guest house? How did this all begin for you?
Many years ago I had an opportunity to renovate this house and to do something with it. My parents had owned it and it was an old age home.
Okay.
And their business came to a stage where it needed to close and they couldn't sell the building. So it was one of those opportunities, and it's cost me and it's taught me a hell of a lot.
I can imagine.
A lot of life lessons.
Yes.
Never to do business with family.
It's very true.
Yes.
Family and friends, it's you've got
One
to
has
be
to be
very careful.
very careful. And as a person, I think I've grown hugely by jumping into a deep end and learning every aspect.
Because it's not just the guest house, it's so much around it. You've got your backpackers, you've got your self-catering and a conference venue.
That's right. So
That
the
is
guest house
incredible.
I acquired 20 years ago.
Yes.
And then 11 years ago, the self-catering house. It's not often your neighbours' properties come on the market. So the self-catering came on and then the backpackers' property came on as well.
And how have you felt with the whole economy and with South Africa the way it's going? Do you find you're very busy and it's great?
I do. Because of where we're situated, it's an interesting market. I've stayed 3-star.
Yes.
Try to offer a good value for a 3-star market. And we are also very corporate because we're just outside of the city centre.
Perfect.
So
yes.
It's walking distance for corporates. And then, of course, because we're outside the city centre on the slopes of Table Mountain, we get the leisure travellers.
Wonderful.
And they love it too.
Yes. So it's nice that you cater actually for all the markets, not just the international, the tourists and that sort of thing. You cater for everything.
Yes.
And what would you say if you think back to any disaster stories or like exciting stories or something with guests? You must have a few of those.
There have been a few. In fact, I think probably the worst was 2 years ago. It was Halloween. I was having a Halloween party. I have a function or a dinner. I used to do it every Thursday night. Yes. Now I do it once a month. And it's a themed dinner, and we had Halloween, so it was October. And the house was full of African teachers on their lifetime trip to Cape Town.
Okay.
And overfull, because they were packed into the guest house.
I'm sure.
And it was raining outside, and ping pong, the doorbell goes. My first guests arrive for the Halloween dinner, all dressed up, and I invite them in, show them down the passage, as two old ladies come down the stairs and say, "It's wet upstairs." I said, yes, it's raining outside. And no, something's happened. So I came down the passage, some girlfriends, please, in the kitchen, sort out. I went upstairs. The ring main for our boiler had burst above the ceiling upstairs.
Oh, shame!
There was a meter diameter hole in the ceiling. There was boiling water pouring down, pulling mattresses, beds.
Oh no, Michelle,
it was terrible. Chaotic. But I must tell you that my Halloween guests had no idea. They stayed down there. We had dinner. I was hopping backwards and forwards. They left. And
they still were none the wiser.
They were none the wiser.
Shame. That is hectic. It's funny what you have to all cope with and deal with when you run or when you own an establishment like this.
Well, I think it's any business.
Yes,
you have to be hands-on. You have to know how things work. So I knew where the tap or the boiler was. Go out, turn it off, and deal with it.
Shame, man. That's hectic. But I must say, I'm really impressed. You've done such an incredible job, and you're such a busy woman. Because besides this, I believe you're involved in quite a lot of charity work and all sorts of things. And you're an avid tennis player.
Yes, that's right.
So tell me a little bit about the charity, the Growing Sports.
Okay, so I wanted to do a give back of some sort, and I wasn't quite sure what to do, and I thought, well, maybe I should do something along the lines of tennis, because I was very involved with Tennis Western Province and development, and for 20 years nobody had actually done anything other than committee meetings. And so I sent an email, I did a little Google, and I found that in the city centre alone there were 27 schools.
Sure.
27 schools.
Well,
I've
really,
never seen 27 schools.
Wow.
And I sent an email and fax to some of the schools to say, would anybody be interested in learning to play tennis for their kids? And 7 schools came back to me, and that's where I started. But I literally used to go and do it myself. I used to go out in the mornings, and I had an apprentice from Zimbabwe who I taught, but we went into the schools to teach tennis. And the situation in the schools is so grave that we had to downscale the program completely, and ended up teaching these children to stand up straight, to breathe deeply, find spaces.
Wonderful.
And I trained as a preschool teacher when I first left school, so young children are my passion, and people are my passion. And here we have the future of South Africa in horrible situations. You've got headmasters who schools are falling down and breaking down around them. There's not one bit of stimulation in a playground. So I was very involved with Rotary, the New Generations was my portfolio, and I'd had schools, we'd run competitions for schools. So I made contact with the German school, for example, and said, I have a school down here in District 6.
Yes.
Could you bring your grade 7 learners and let's do something? So for me it was a phone call. For them they placed another phone call, and they got a donation of 65,000 rand from the German consulate. And they came down and made a beautiful games and things for the kids in the playground. So
that is so lovely. That's so important for them to have that stimulation.
Well, and for the headmasters and the teachers to have a link to the outside. So I came across many people who came across my path, educators, charities, community chairs, various people who I could network together and pull together.
That's so wonderful.
It wasn't about reinventing a wheel. It was about just giving people a platform again to do their good on our doorstep, because it's right here.
And to give the hope to the children and to the schools.
Absolutely. But the challenge, at the end of the day, one needs money to pay people that you are employing to teach, or bringing in an educator to bring in a huge program to schools. You need finance. And
you've had a lot of backing. I know, but it is with all these projects. It always is.
That is the challenge. And the biggest for me is the continuation of that, because my funding actually dried up. And I kept it going for as long as I could. But January this year, I've had to step back and just say, hang 10 until I'm ready, until I have new project finance coming in. And the disappointment in those kids is just huge.
Horrible. Must be horrible, to their little faces, because they're so enjoying that time, that bit of something different, a bit of something exciting.
But the Waterfront Rotary Club at the time put libraries in those schools. And when you go to those schools now, the kids are standing in the corridors reading books at lunchtime, because they can only go one day a week to the library, because there's 5 grades and there's 5 days in the week and there's one library.
And how many libraries? Because I saw all of that you've been quite.
The Rotary Club got very involved in those schools and other schools in the area. So it was once again saying, "Hey guys, here's a place that has a need," and
reading is so important.
Yeah. And letting them put their money where it was important.
Exactly, very much so. And then also tell me about Awaken the Giant in You, that other project that I read about. I think that's quite amazing. That
belongs to Lydia Zingoni. She's an amazing ex-Zimbabwean woman, and that's her project. And it's an entrepreneurial project to teach people to be entrepreneurial.
Yes.
So she has breakfast seminars and things at the moment, and that's her push.
That is
amazing. So once again, I brought her into my program to try,
so special.
To try and broaden her base and to give our kids something too.
How do you find time for yourself with all this that you so? Oh my gosh,
I don't.
So busy.
I don't know. I think that old saying, "Give a busy person something to do and it gets done."
Yes.
I think because I just plow into things and I make them happen rather than sit and do paperwork.
What is your absolute dream and your wish would you say, for what you're doing with all the, besides getting endless funding? What would you say?
I think to get endless
Yes,
funding.
exactly.
So that one can just do more things,
And
because the ripple effect, the ricochet on that is huge.
Yes, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'm just so excited to have met you, and I think you're the most inspirational woman. And
Thank
that is
you.
what this program is all about, you know, talking to people who have made a difference and who are constantly and continuing to make a difference in society and in others' lives. So I love what you said as well. Every successful person in their own right has the ability to mentor and empower others, which I think is wonderful, because we all have an ability to help others.
Absolutely.
You know, you just have to look at your strengths
Yeah.
and look at what you can do, and the change is just amazing.
And so many people don't know how.
Well, that's
And
it.
it's as simple as that.
Yes.
It is simple, but
Yes,
I kind of think I have the speciality of knitting people together.
but you do.
So
You're a people
that's-
person. I can see
yeah.
you've got such a divine laugh and smile. You just want to
Thank
be
you.
with you. So I just really, really admire all the work you're doing.
Thank you so much.
And I appreciate your time. And I also, lastly, I believe you've been given a lot of awards for all this amazing work that you've done.
Rotary gave me a special award. It's a Paul Harris Award, and that's an award for doing extraordinary things for the community.
Yes.
And through my program with the schools,
Fantastic.
that came. And then we got a Local Heroes Award from Nedbank, which gave us a little bit of
Wonderful.
funding for my
Yes.
coaches, which was great.
Oh, well, Michelle, thank you once again for
It's a
being on the
pleasure.
couch with
Thank
us.
you.
And it's been an absolute honor to meet a woman who just, as I said, just gives back constantly to everyone around her. I hope you've enjoyed the program, and I look forward to bringing another amazing, inspirational lady to talk to you soon. Like Michelle, thank you very much.
We could fly, we could fall, hit it big or lose it all.